Go ahead and get started. Thank you all again so much for coming to this virtual fair session. This one's going to be focused on learning Italian, Arabic, and German abroad. So you have some alumni here with us today who are going to share about their experiences, all from different programs. So a really great perspective for all of you thinking about studying either of these languages abroad. I'll have them introduce themselves and then I'll just get into a little bit of background. So we can start with Isabella E.
Hi guys, my name is Isabella. I went to Rome.
Great, and then Rayon, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Rian. I live in Minnesota and I went to Rabat for the Arabic language program.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining. I went to the Italian language culture program in Milan.
Amazing. So I'm going to get into some background, but then you'll definitely hear about their experiences and have the chance to ask them any questions as well. So I'm first just going to give some background on CIE. So we are the oldest and largest study abroad organization. We've been doing this for over 75 years. We have not only our high school summer programs, we have high school semester, college programs, teach abroad programs, and even more. So a lot of different programs to choose from with CIE. And we're also a nonprofit organization. So we want to make this opportunity as accessible as possible to as many students and families as we can. So you might have heard this in if you attended a classroom presentation that we did at your school, where we a lot of the times we'll have you guys guess the number, but we give out $7 million just for our high school summer programs every year. So we have a lot of different options for you all to apply for a scholarship and study abroad on a scholarship. And these are all of our locations for high school summer abroad. As you can see, we're really spread out all over the world. I like to say we're in every continent except Antarctica, so a lot of different places to choose from. We have some new centers this year, one in Auckland, one in Greece. So we're always growing our locations as well. Great, and we like to split up our aspects of our high school summer abroad program and our benefits of our summer abroad programs for high school students into Fun Friends Future. So there's a lot of fun involved in our summer programs. We know it is your summer. We want you all to be having so much fun while you're abroad. So that there were some ways that we keep fun at our top. One of our top priorities is through fun activities that you'll be doing with your friends, not only academic activities, but activities where you're being active, going to really fun sites in the city. And I'm sure you'll hear from our alumni here about some of their favorite activities that they did. Also, friends, one of the most unique experiences I think that comes with studying abroad is making friends all over the world. I know I studied abroad in high school as well, and I still talk to my friends from that program. And one of my roommates now is actually a friend from college study abroad. So, really, such a great experience for you to be making these connections from not only people all over the US, but even sometimes people all over the world. And then also your future. So all of our programs have so many benefits for your future, not only with college credit that you can earn through language programs or community service through topic programs, but also just with gaining that independence and confidence through going through a study abroad program. They can come with challenges, but overcoming those challenges really help grow your confidence and prepares you for college and even beyond college. Great, so I'll first get into our language programs, which I know we are focusing on today. Our language programs are 4 weeks long. As you can see, we have 8 different languages to choose from. And for these programs, you would be staying in a homestay for these 4 weeks abroad. So this would be a family that's really taking you in for these 4 weeks, cooking you meals, really helping you learn the language and just immersing you in their family and culture. And you'll definitely get to hear more about our 3 alumni's homestay experiences as well. Some of the benefits of our language programs is, as I said, mentioned, college credit and also earning the global seal of biliteracy. And this is, you can get this by taking our post-program assessment. And if you earn a 5 or above, an intermediate level or above, you can earn this award. So a great thing to add onto your college application. I know they get more and more competitive each year, but also just to take with you in your confidence of your language skills. And so you'll definitely be hearing about our language programs much more in depth after these few slides. Great. And so these are just some deadlines to keep in mind for students here that are applying for this year. So we are doing a free flight raffle. It has been extended until December 1st. So any applicant that submits their application by December 1st will be entered into a raffle to win a free flight, since flights are separate from scholarships and program tuition. And then we are also doing an early scholarship deadline on December 1st. So if you want to be considered in an early round of applicants for your financial need and merit-based scholarship, and also just get your application done before your holiday break, definitely recommend applying for that December 1st deadline. And then we do have a final deadline for scholarships of January 21st. In that case, you would hear about your application and scholarship results in February. And if there are any questions about some more of these general topics, you can always type them in the chat and I can answer them while our alumni are sharing their experiences. Perfect. So I'm going to pass it over to Isabella. She's going to be telling you about her experience in Rome this summer.
Hi guys, my name is Isabella. I'm currently a sophomore in high school, and I went to Rome, Italy, this summer. It was a really nice experience. First, I want to say that Rome is a very like busy place, and it's really, if you like routines, you probably wouldn't like Rome. But I think that like the disorganized chaos of it all was like really like the best part about it. Um, I think on my trip or on the program, I made a lot of friends. I saw a lot of new things. I learned to be independent and I also learned the language, which is really good. Um, I think my favorite part about it was definitely the friends I made. I still keep in contact with them. But also like the language that I picked up. Like I'm not like fully fluent because I stayed there for a month, but I know some of it and like I can understand it whenever it's spoken. Um, yeah, I just think that Rome was just such a beautiful city and it was such a beautiful place, like especially during the summer because it's so live and there's like so much events going on and like it's just such a beautiful place. Like in these photos here, there's like one with the firework. It was on like June 29th, if I'm not wrong. There was like this big celebration and like the pedestrians like took up a whole street and they were just watching the fireworks at Castel St. Angelo, which was such a beautiful thing. And during our trip, we got to have like weekend activities where we went to like the beach, and that picture like on the top right is like us at the beach. It was such a beautiful view. It was at the beach in Sperlonga, and I just think that it was like so beautiful. And like we also had like another weekend activity at Perugia and Orvieto, which are two like cities outside of Rome, and it was just such a great experience. Next slide.
Perfect.
Here, like, oh yeah.
Oh, so sorry.
All right. Here are like the photos of like me and my friends. The pictures like on the top, they're kind of like of Orvieto. Oh, yeah, Orvieto. They have like this big cathedral and it's so beautiful. And there's like a picture of me crying here because I was just so sad to leave because like I was there for a month and like I built like a really close and tight-knit connection with a bunch of people. Um, and I just had like such a good stay and it was beautiful. Like I really had a good time.
Amazing. Great. So you'll notice all of our alumni have these QR code slides. These are referral codes that you can use from these alumni that you'll hear from today. So for example, if you open an application, if you're interested in the Rome Language and Culture Program and want to open an application through Isabella's QR code, you will automatically get $200 off of your program tuition. So feel free to, I'll leave this up for a second. You can scan this one, but then you'll also have the opportunity to scan either Rayon's or Isabella's QR code as well. Perfect. And now you'll hear from Isabella about her time in Milan.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Isabella Escobar. I am currently a 10th grader. I live in DC, and this past summer I went to Milan with CIE. And so, just to tell you a couple highlights about my trip, one of the biggest highlights for my trip was really understanding and learning Italian culture through the multiple interactions I had with my host family, my friends, and also my teachers, which I think really improved my skills, and including being able to communicate in Italian, which I was so surprised that I was able to do. I think that CIE offers a really cohesive and nice language learning experience as it's beginner level, but also, for example, for me, I'm fluent in Spanish, so I was able to also advance in Italian, which I thought was very cool to do. So I really enjoyed making new friends. As Isabella said in her slides, I still do talk to them as well. We call and stuff. In the top left corner, you can see my friends having a fun time doing Venetian masks, where from the time that we went to Venice, which goes into the day trips that are offered from CIE, which I really enjoyed. Um, One of the fondest memories I have from my host family is teaching my host dad English slang. And so that is a picture from one of the videos, which I thought was really funny, of him learning and describing how good his gelato was. And another example of just having fun with my friends was getting these bears and also just having loads of gelato on my trip. And I think that these bondings were really making the experience a lot more memorable. So, in conclusion, I would recommend it so much. It's an incredible experience to learn, experience another culture, and also grow as a person through your trip. You can also become a lot more independent, which was what happened with me. And that's pretty much it. And here's some other pictures from my trip as well, like the Duomo, which is super popular in Milan. I got to visit that multiple times, and another picture from Venice, and a very cute picture from a cat. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. A little fun fact about the Milan Center is that my college study abroad director was in Rome at the time when I was studying abroad, and he's now the center director for Milan CIEE. And again, you can scan this QR code as well if you are interested in the Italian language and culture in Milan. Great, and now we will hear from Rayon about her time in Rabat this summer.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rian. I'm a senior, and I went to the Rabat Arabic and Language program in session 2. And just some basic info about what we were doing. We studied Modern Standard Arabic and the dialect known as Darija. So even if you have no background in Arabic or you do study it at school, there is a place for you. I personally haven't studied Arabic since middle school. My school currently doesn't offer it. So I was playing a little bit of catch up in the beginning, but the teachers were very supportive and they did help me learn. As you can see in these pictures, these are like all the places that we went to. The farthest left picture is our Tangier day trip. We got to see the coastline of Spain from there, which I thought was really cool. The second picture is the Medina of Rabat. So we lived in the old city. So there was tons and tons of like historic architecture and like shops that you could go to, and it was so beautiful to just experience the culture and see how people lived in Rabat. The third picture is one of the mosques that we went to for one of our other day trips, and then the last one is Marrakesh, which is where we went to for our overnight trip. I think one of my favorite activities that everybody loved was the camel riding in the Agafay Desert. And we got to like stargaze at the end, and I thought that was so nice. And with the homestays, there are a variety of family demographics. You can see in one of like the lower pictures, it's me and my host family. They were a little older, and they honestly embody like what it truly means to be a Moroccan in terms of the hospitality and the support that they offered. There were such like wealth of information when it came to language learning. They were so helpful in that. And with the classes, they were very, very interactive based. I remember our program coordinator, Hadu, told us that if you don't practice the language, you won't learn it. So we did a variety of things to make sure that we were immersed in the language and practicing it. So every day when we would come in, we would talk about what we did the day before and what we were going to do the day after to practice those two different like verb tenses. And we also got to bargain at the, like, we had a little market set up where we bargained, and I bought a little tea kettle, which was very fun. And we also got to do these things called community conversations, where you go out into the community and you talk to people, which to me sounded a little scary at first because my Arabic is not very good in terms of speaking. But Moroccans are genuinely so respectful and supportive when it comes to having conversations with them. Like one of the guys we were talking to, and we would go in groups, would guide us through our questions and help us ask our questions so he could answer it. And I thought that was very funny. And you get to talk to so many people. And you see, like in the second picture from the left, is me and my friends and the staff. And honestly, like Rabat just feels like one large family. They won the Africa Cup not too long ago, I think, I think they won some sort of soccer game. I remember that. And I could just see videos of like everybody celebrating in the streets and the community of care that not only like CIE Rabat builds, but also just in general in Rabat is something that is so fascinating to see, especially living in a place where you don't really see much of yourself in. And if I could talk to myself a year ago who was watching this virtual presentation, I would say that I really wish I could have done it sooner because as a senior, I can't really do this again. Um, and definitely do not allow your lack of activities or extracurriculars or anything to discourage you from applying because I told myself that, oh, I wasn't smart enough. I didn't do all these crazy extracurriculars. They probably won't accept me. But if I had prevented myself from not do like applying and getting to have this opportunity, like this was genuinely such a life-changing opportunity. And like both Isabella said, like I still talk to my friends that I made there, and I still talk to the cultural peers that we had that would help us bridge the gap between Moroccan and American culture. And everybody there's such a strong system of support, so whatever you need you will definitely get it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rayan. That's such a great perspective to have. And I love all the advice you shared about if you might not think this opportunity is right for you, just trying it out, taking advantage of having this opportunity. So thank you so much for sharing that. So now that you've heard from all three of our alumni today, now I'm going to open it up for any questions. So feel free to ask any questions in the chat and I can read them aloud. Or you can also raise your hand and I can unmute you as well. Okay, great. I believe we have one hand raised, so feel free to unmute yourself.
Yeah, to John, I think I saw your hand raised, so feel free to go ahead and ask the question. I'm also seeing in the chat, are there any age restrictions for any of the programs?
Yeah, so any student 9th through 12th grade can attend our programs. The only program I believe with an age restriction are our programs in Dublin. Those programs do have an age restriction of 15 to 18, but all other programs are open to all high school students. Great. I also see a question about how host families are chosen. So these host families are vetted by us in terms of they go through background checks, interviews, home visits, and also some trainings as well to become a host family. And because of all the years we've been doing these programs, we also have built a pretty large homestay network. So a lot of times we have returning families or families referred to us by some of our most loved families. And I don't know if any of you want to kind of share a bit more about what your homestay looks like, the members of the family, kind of what that experience meant to you.
I feel like for me, my homestay was actually a really good homestay. Like we really did feel like a family. I still keep in contact with like my host sister. And my host mother, she knew English, so it was easy to like, talk to her. It was like such a great experience and they were really nice and really welcoming. Yeah.
And also with my homestay family, like I mentioned earlier, um, it does look like a little different than what you would typically expect from a normal American family, but they were still like very supportive. Like Isabella said, they treated me like their daughter. They would literally call me their daughter, and I did not like at all feel alienated or like I couldn't ask for support when I needed it.
Thing. We also have a question about what your language class hours looked like, if you guys want to talk a bit about that and the structure of your day.
So for me, I would like wake up like at like 7 because I would like catch the metro to school. And like all morning I would be at school, so that would be like an activity for like the first couple of hours. And then after we would have like class for I think around 2 to 3 hours if I'm not wrong. And then after that we'd go outside and do our community conversations like Rayan was talking about, and then we can have our free time, and then after that we go home. So that was kind of like how like my schedule was like every day.
Our schedules were also pretty similar. Like from 9 to 12, we took classes. It's just that with us, because we were learning two different kinds of Arabic, we did modern standard Arabic in the morning for an hour, and then Darija, like the dialect, for an hour and a half. And then after that, we went out and did our community conversations. We would talk to people in the Moroccan dialect, because that's what people usually talk in. MSA, people don't really use outside of like a formal written context. And then after that, we would usually do like a cultural activity, um, or it would just be free time where we could do whatever we wanted essentially.
So my schedule was just slightly different. We had our activity in the morning. So one of my most funnest memories were basically making pizza. It was where all my classmates, we all got to do it. And then right after that, we'd have a lunch period and we'd have the Italian language class from pretty sure it was 2 to 5 p.m. if I'm not wrong. And then we'd also do our community conversations.
Okay, thank you guys. There is another question about the flight experience. Do you guys want to share a bit about what your flight experience to and from looked like if you had a chaperoned flight or flew independently?
For me, I took the chaperone flight to Rome, and then I on my way back I went by myself. For the chaperone flight, I met at like JFK airport in New York, and then from there I went to Rome, and it was honestly like really like it was really easy. Like I thought it would be like harder, but like the flight experience was really easy. Like going through like checking your bags and like all of it was really self-explanatory and easy. And like the chaperone flight, like you just see a big group of people wearing blue shirts, and like you're like, yep, that's where I'm supposed to be. So yeah, I think for me it was like a really easy experience.
For me, I also met up for the chaperone flight in JFK. So for the Milan trip, I thought it was very comfortable, the whole flight experience. I thought that getting to know the people you were going to be with in the program and also your program leaders made it a lot more like inviting for me because it was my first time flying alone. So I think that really allowed me to feel more comfortable overall.
And then I actually flew independently. So I flew from Minnesota to Paris and then Paris to Morocco. But the good thing is that once we landed, I actually ended up joining 3 other people on the program from France to Morocco. They had the transportation set ready for us and they had people to pick us up. So navigating the airport, like the Isabella said, is pretty self-explanatory. And because you're wearing the blue shirt and you have your papers, you can just tell the people like, hey, I'm on a study abroad trip. Because I did get questioned why I was like flying as a minor in France, but it was okay in the end.
Perfect. Yes, you guys did a great job explaining that. So all of any program that you attend will have chaperone flight options, or you can fly independently as well. And yes, everyone will be wearing those blue shirts, and your chaperones will be wearing bright orange shirts. So I have you that day, you'll see a lot of those shirts around. So it's a comforting feeling. Great. And we have another question. Catherine asked, that said that she is fluent in Spanish and trying to travel to Milan. Did knowing Spanish help more with learning Italian?
Yes. For me, I'm fluent in Spanish, and
No. In the meantime, Isabella, do you have anything to add to that question?
Yeah. For Milan specifically, I'm also fluent in Spanish, and I thought that our classes were very like well organized and set up. It was so interactive, and I thought the teacher also kept in count that I also knew Spanish. So she really like tried to make those connections through Spanish to Italian. And overall, I feel like by the end of the program, I was really able to understand Italian when my host family would talk to me, or just like the community conversations in general.
Amazing, thank you. And we have another question about if any of you guys applied for scholarships. And did any of you use outside scholarships to um, apply to the program? And if so, did you begin to apply for those scholarships before or after getting confirmed? So if you guys want to just talk about your application process, if you applied to scholarships, and maybe any tips for applying.
So for me personally, I applied for the Global Navigator Scholarship, and that one was along with my CIE application. So it didn't, I didn't have to apply like outside, but for the flight specifically. But I do know somebody who was on my program who ran a GoFundMe and she was able to cover her entire flight and more. So that is definitely an option if you have like a strong community or if you have like a very like strong CIE presence where you live. I think that would probably be a really good idea.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of fundraising resources, and later on in the year, we sometimes host some fundraising webinars. So we definitely have a lot of students that fundraise for any additional expenses, including their flight. So that's definitely something to look into if you are interested in that. Here we have Isabella back. I know you got cut off answering your question, but if you want to talk about your learning Italian experience.
sorry, my laptop died.
No worries.
So yeah, I'm fluent in Spanish. So going to like Italy and Rome, like Italy, it's like the languages are very similar. So yes, knowing Spanish did help me like better learn the language because they're very similar languages. Like I remember one time, I think my host mom was having a conversation with her daughter. Well, she was trying to explain it to my host sister, like a story, and I just remember like understanding it. I was like, this sounds like Spanish. So yes, knowing Spanish does help you like learn Italian easier.
Like, do we have any other questions? It can be general or about any of their specific experiences. While we see if there are any other questions, do you guys want to share maybe one thing you wish you knew before studying abroad or one big takeaway from your time abroad?
I think something that I wish before studying abroad. Well, everyone told me this, but I was like, "Ugh, I'm different. Like, I don't need it." But having a portable charger everywhere you go, because I was gone from my house, well, from my home state from 7 to like 8 p.m. every single day. And I was always like using my friend's portable charger. So bring a portable charger. Like, don't think you're different. Like, you need it.
That's great advice. I know when I was chaperoning too in Rome, my phone was always on like 10%. And I was also wishing I had that charger. Great. Anyone else want to share?
Another thing I wish I could have known before going was definitely make sure to get your SIM card, your eSIM card on your phone, and have that prepared before you go because a lot of people on my program couldn't contact their parents or couldn't pull up Google Maps because of that. So that would definitely be my recommendation.
Oh, that's great
And
advice too.
along with,
Oh,
sorry,
sorry, go ahead. No, you're
along
good. Go
with
ahead.
the portable charger, like definitely if you're going to a hotter area, bring a fan. I definitely regretted not having a charger, like a chargeable fan when we were in 100-degree weather in Marrakesh. It was hell. But one thing I would take away is that like um just to make the best of every single moment because you're in so many different places at once and just being able to sit and be grounded, which is something that we did a lot with after the camel riding and then we went to a beach. Um it's just like the mindfulness and being like gratitude was definitely very important.
Yes, that's such good advice. It definitely is a once in a lifetime experience. So definitely good to kind of remind yourself that while you're in it. We have another question that asks, what do you guys think is the best part of this experience?
For me, I think the best part was the people I met. I think I mentioned that a lot during my presentation, but seriously, the people that I met, like I still talk to them today, my host family, um, it was just they were such really good people and I'm really glad because like CIE is such like a tight-knit like family relationship. Like it's I'm like so glad I got to meet these people. Like you don't like go studying abroad with like your name like I guess like your friends from school. I guess like like a different relationship. I don't know how to explain it. Like it's like so tight knit and it's just something that I love. Mhm.
Similar to what Isabella said, I definitely relate to that. I think that the whole part about people in the program sharing that you're really in this like once in a lifetime situation in a whole different country away from your family, I think really strengthens that friendship. And I think also like the cultural exchange between the host family and like the host student, I think definitely was memorable. I remember that I taught my host family how to make arepas, which is something like a dish that I normally eat with my family. And then they taught us how to make one of their favorite Italian meals. So I thought that was very significant. Um, and yeah.
And I hate
Talking
to be repetitive, but I definitely have to say the people were the best part of my experience as well. You truly can't fathom how well you can learn people like in just 1 month. I feel like personally, I knew these people for years, and especially with the cultural peers who are like college age students who speak English fluently and know a lot about American culture. One of my cultural peers, Lena, like I still talk to her today. Since I don't learn Arabic here, like she's a good resource for me to practice. And even the staff members like Hadu, Sam, Bushra are like custodian, like just getting to know these people is just so nice, and everybody is so supportive and kind, and you make so many core memories together, and it just makes the language learning so much more fun.
Amazing. Did you have something to add, Isabella?
Sorry, it's because whenever the other Isabella was talking about like how she taught her host family how to make like food, it was like it brought up like the most heartwarming memory because my host mom, like it was a family full of like Texans, like Mexican Texans, so it was very Tex-Mex in there. And we were like we would all talk about every day how we wanted to go to like this one Mexican restaurant because like we were missing home. And my host mom decided to make us like Mexican food or like try her best to make it. And I just thought like I think that day like I cried because I was like that's so like nice. Like she went out of her way to like try and like make us feel welcome, you know, like try and make us not feel like homesick. And it was like that's like a core memory like that. Sorry. No, yeah.
Amazing. I love to hear that. And it seems like you guys all had such great memories and formed such strong bonds with your host family, which is always the goal of that experience. So, so glad to hear that from all three of you. Did any of you guys have host siblings? I know we had another question about host families, host siblings, or anyone else in your host family that you became close with.
So my host family was actually very large. I had a host dad, a host mom, and three host sisters, plus two pet cats, which I thought was unexpected, but we all got so close. And I also had a roommate, and I think that was another portion that I really enjoyed about the experience because I think just having a roommate made things really easy about navigation or just talking to someone about the work you had to do or just having somebody to really just connect with. And I think that the whole portion of my host family being very large, I think we all really got to know each other well and got close.
I think for me, yeah, I had like I mentioned my host sister and my host mother, but I also had a host brother and two like host pets. Like they were Spanish Greyhound dogs, if I'm not wrong. And they were the cutest little things ever. They were so nice. Like the first time we ever came, they were so friendly to us, and I was just like, it was like such a homey and good environment to be in.
And then for me, it was my host mom, my host dad, their daughter, who was an adult, and then her two children. So I had a great time walking around the markets with my host sister and her children. And they really did treat me like family, like I said earlier. I remember a core memory with them was in the first couple of days that I was there, they were telling me about their other children who moved to France to play, to do judo. And like they were doing like little motions and stuff. And my family didn't speak a lot of English. They mainly spoke Arabic and French. So I was communicating to them in my broken French, but it was okay. I thought it was really funny. But yeah.
Love that. Thank you guys for sharing. It's nice to hear about all of your different host families and what they looked like. There's a wide range of variety there. So it's fun. You can really have a unique experience depending on what your host family placement is. Great. Do we have any other questions for our alumni or just questions in general about the programs or application process? Great. Are there any last things you all want to mention or any advice you have for any of these students on here right now that are thinking of applying to study abroad?
I would say just do it because like it was such a great experience. And like before, like when I was applying, like I had my doubts. I was like, dang, like this is gonna be really hard. I'm gonna have to like travel alone. Well, yeah, travel alone. I'm gonna have to be alone by myself. Like my parents were scared for me. And I just think that just do it because like it is such a good experience and it's so worth it. Like it's so worth it. And yeah.
I would definitely also say, like, just go for it. I was somebody who was very hesitant to go, considering that CIE is not very present in my school and studying abroad culture is not very big at my school. So I was kind of doing this on my own. And I remember thinking to myself, like I said earlier, maybe I'm not that like smart enough. I don't have that many accomplishments to distinguish myself from the other applicants. And I remember my friend told me, she was like, she lives in Canada, and she was like, if I had this chance, I wouldn't even think about it. I would apply, and you have this opportunity to go to this country as a high school student and learn a new language. And if I had allowed my hesitation or like my fears and anxieties to like hold me back from applying and having such a wonderful experience, I would be living with so much regret. So like please don't live with any regret. Definitely apply. You make so many core memories, you learn so much new stuff, grow so much as a person emotionally, and linguistically, obviously. And I just can't stop like praising the experience and the people that I met. So yeah.
Amazing. That's such good advice. It's so helpful to hear from you all who have been through it, and probably went through maybe some of the same thoughts that people here are thinking about. It is a scary experience and a big decision for a high school student to make. So it's so helpful to hear you guys come back and just kind of share what this program has meant to you and how it really helped both your language learning, but just life skills in general. So thank you guys so much for sharing all of that. Great. I'll share my screen again. We do have more sessions for the virtual fair. So if you scan this QR code, you'll see our schedule of sessions. So definitely recommend looking into those. There's not just program specific ones, but also some sessions on scholarships and other application based sessions as well. And thank you all so much for coming.